Report on road safety for 2015, released by the World Health Organization, it revealed that South Africa's road fatalities stand at 25 deaths per 10,000 people. The European Parliament has decided to implement a new device. It's called the e-technology or eCall technology in all of the vehicles that will be manufactured from 2018. So let's tell you about this device. It calls emergency services in the event of accidents when you are not able to. According to Europ Assist, South Africa and the government should consider bringing this device to the country due to the high vehicle accident rates. Christelle Colman, the CEO of Europ Assistance South Africa, joins us from our Seapoint studios now to tell us a little bit more about this. Christelle, it's great to have you on the program. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much. Great being here.
All right. This is a very interesting development, and the device sounds fantastic. So if anything happens to your vehicle, you're in an accident for whatever instance or anything that does happen, it automatically gets emergency assist. Talk to me about exactly how it works.
Okay, so this was obviously a regulation passed for all the European countries, so it goes across the whole of Europe. And you'll see some of the new cars coming off the manufacturer line already in South Africa. My husband drives a German car. There's an emergency button in the vehicle. If you press it, nothing happens in South Africa.
Yeah.
But in Europe, what will happen is it will call the closest emergency assist center, and then you will be helped. So whether it is a medical emergency or an accident, and the findings are that they will reduce road deaths by as much as 60%. So they really are driving to bring down road deaths and obviously reduce medical emergencies as well, and reduce the cost to the state, because obviously in Europe a lot of these medical emergencies are state-borne. So very good initiative, which I think can really work well for us in South Africa if you consider our terribly high accident death rate on the roads.
I mean, South Africa, we talk about, I see the statistics of saying our fatality rate stands at 25 deaths per 10,000 people. When we look at that in comparison to the rest of the world, I mean, I always imagine that we've got an absolutely devastating accident rate in the country, but how do we compare? We must be one of the highest in the world.
Well, as with many things, we are, very, very. It's not a good statistic. So, we're going into the busy season now. We're going to be hearing about road deaths and trying to reduce from last year deaths and accidents, but it just doesn't seem to improve. And I think in South Africa we have a societal problem where our mindset around obeying the laws of the country, the rules of the road, is not correct. We have people driving like absolute maniacs on the road, and it's causing a number of accidents. People don't worry about driving under the influence of alcohol. We have unlicensed vehicles on the road, and furthermore, only 1/3 of the cars on the road in South Africa is insured. We often use the statistic. But what that means is a lot of people don't have roadside assistance. Roadside assistance is really important when you consider what can go wrong. When you're in an accident or you have a medical emergency like a heart attack, you need to get someone to assist you as soon as possible. And in South Africa, it's even worse, because if you're stuck next to the road, you are even more exposed, because something can happen to you after the accident. So it's really not good.
Indeed. I mean, that's the reality, and that so many people do struggle exactly in the manner that you're talking about. I want to get back to this eCall technology, though. It is obviously being used in some countries. We're saying it's mandatory that in Europe cars will have this, in any car that's manufactured will have it by 2018. But how effective is it? How is the system working in the countries that have initiated it?
Well, they're only rolling it out from April 2018. So that's why I've wanted to raise awareness in South Africa around this, because the cars will come equipped. In Europe, the way it will work is it uses the sensors in the vehicle. There's a lot of things that we have in our cars that indicate whether there's been an accident. So whether it is the controls on the bumpers or your any accident type reaction that takes place in your car, like your airbag explodes, this will notify the emergency assist center that there's been an accident, and then it will send minimal information, so the location of the car and what's happened, and then they can send out an emergency assist vehicle to assist that individual. So it's not having like a telematics unit in your car where it tracks you.
Yeah.
It's not like having Big Brother in the car. It really is just having that sensors activated to the emergency assist centers so that you can be helped when you are in trouble.
Have you managed to call a meeting with the Department of Transport? Have they expressed interest?
No, I haven't. This is the first time that I talk about it. I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about it going into the season. And yesterday was the World Day for commiserating deaths of vehicle accidents. They celebrate it every third Sunday in November. And I just thought it's a good time for us to start raising this issue, and hopefully we can get something going in South Africa and get the right assistance to people who are in trouble next to the roads.
I mean, I know that we've interviewed some guys and innovators here, entrepreneurs in South Africa, that have developed an app on a phone that could do pretty much so the same thing. But I think having it on your car, actually a part of the vehicle, would probably be more effective. And if it is being already installed into cars, I imagine that the government would find that this would be a lot better. But let's see, I mean, once you take that forward, if they will in fact assist in that one.
Absolutely, and I think the difference between having it in your car and having it on your phone is you can be stuck next to the road without a signal. You're not able to perhaps push the button on the phone. Where with the car will actually notify the right people on your behalf. So it becomes an automatic response.
Yeah.
And that's what you need when you're stuck in a real emergency.
Yeah, and the one thing, I mean, when you're in an accident, things go flying. And the thing is, with your cell phone, you never really know where it is. You know, the other issue, and I'd love to talk about this if we're talking about the future of vehicles, cell phones and vehicles. I mean, if we could implement a button in a car that can actually stop or get you to sort of, if you're in an accident, to be able to push this button, people will find you. I mean, is there not a way that when you get into a car, that a phone is disabled in a way that you can't SMS, you can't do anything. You can just make calls, but you're not able to sit and fiddle with your phone? Because I can imagine that is one of the biggest contributing factors to accidents on our roads.
Well, they definitely say so, and I think there's an app that you can download that will assist you with that. I've heard of the technology. I can't confirm that it actually exists. But I think in South Africa, it's one step further. We have very big problems that we have to overcome as far as road safety is concerned. You know, it's an absolute lawlessness. So we don't adhere to the rules of the road. The road conditions are terrible. Traffic lights don't work. I work in Joburg during the week, and I am shocked at how often traffic lights are out. So people don't. There's a major problem there with accidents, and then of course things like potholes and unlicensed vehicles and all the other things that we have to deal with. So we really have a long way to go, and if we have our cars responding on our behalf when we are in an accident, I think we will make great progress.
Yeah, we'll let technology do the work for us if we can. Thank you for talking to us. That's Christelle Colman. She's the CEO of Europ Assistance South Africa, talking to us here on the program about a new development that's happening in Europe, and it's an app. It's not an app. It's a device. It basically calls emergency services if anything goes wrong. It's installed into cars. It will be mandatory from 2018 in Europe. So the idea is to get it into South African vehicles as well, if the government does approve that. All right.